Hi, so how is all my beautiful people going? Yeah, I know, right? I haven't posted in a while, but as you all know, we're in a second lockdown, and a lot of the videos that I had in mind involved me interacting with people. So, the last video I posted was already a month ago, and I'm like, Alina, it's a month already. You haven't posted anything. And then some people asking me when I'm posting again, they're not seeing anything and whatever. So I decided to do a little video, and as you can see, I didn't have my normal intro, or I didn't have any background music or anything like that. It's just me having discussions. I decided that with the lockdown, I would take the opportunity to have discussions about different topics in which is weighing heavy on my heart, things that I wanted to talk about for a while. And because I had a very tight schedule in terms of what I wanted to do on my YouTube, I didn't really have the space and the room for it. But anyway, I'm going on and on rambling. So if for the first time you just happen to be scrolling and you see this girl and you want to know who this girl is, my name is Alina. The name of my channel is House of Alina, and I discuss and showcase varying talents of different persons, as well as I myself will do certain demonstrations. We're looking at fashion, we look at culinary arts, we look at table setting, we look at wine education, we look at architecture, we look at interior design, interior decoration. The list is endless. But as I said, I have I had so many plans. I had some real nice lineup for you all. I don't know what's happening with my throat. Anyway, I had some really nice lineup for you all, and then this lockdown came, and I was kind of like, should I just stay low, wait until things are back to normal? And then they extended the time, and the COVID cases keep rising, the debt keeps rising. I know a couple of people personally who unfortunately passed on, and it's becoming so common now, because I know that there are some of you who can relate to what I'm saying. One of the things I decided to talk about this evening, I wanted to discuss something that, as I say, have been on my mind for some time. And because I have been part of the service industry for quite some time, I always wanted to have a discussion. So we are going to have a very candid discussion about this. I have no notes, I have no pointers, I'm just talking from my head. And that discussion I want to talk about is on customer service. Alina, why you want to talk about customer service and everywhere is closed? I know, right? But here's what I know, that everything is going to be going back to normal. Well, you all know what I mean, right? Eventually things are going to reopen. Restaurants are going to be open. The entertainment and service industry, the hospitality industry, the hotel industry, everything is going to be reopened. And I wanted to take this opportunity to have a sit-down chat with you all, because customer service in this country is at an all-time low. Now, you all are free to disagree with me. You can leave your comments below. Just be respectful, okay? So let me just give you all a little background information about myself. If you're probably looking at my channel for the first time. So I entered into the hotel industry in my late teens, right? And I would say that in my time we had quality service. We really did. At that time I was a server, and the standard was very, very high. The hotel that I was working in at that time was one of the top hotels in Trinidad and Tobago. And to work in the restaurant, you had to be able to be really good at what you do. And part of that, not just being good at what you do, not just the technical aspect, but in terms of customer service and interacting with people. I remember when I just started in the industry, you know, it was difficult. The training was intense, but I was humble to take coaching and counseling. And through the years, I just kept improving myself. So I would have gone on to do courses, I would have done workshops, I did all sorts of courses to help improve my customer service skills, and not only just customer service, but in other areas, to just make myself more marketable. We as servers back then took pride in our job, the way we dress, the way we spoke, the way we dealt with our customers. And although I'm not in the hotel and service industry anymore, it is my foundation. It's a foundation that helped me to move on to greater stages in my life. So hospitality, customer service, it will always be part of my life. That gave me my beginning. So bear with me. I know I'm just rambling on and on, but bear with me, right? I'll get to it. So anyway, so as time went by, what I have observed is that the industry just started plummeting in a major way. I'll give you an example. I went to hotel school, and my class that year was 150 students that graduated. It would have been more, but some students were still doing their internship and they were out of the country and so on, but it was 150. And when I continued being in the hotel industry and years passed by and stuff, I would see my old classmates and I'll ask them, so what are you doing now? And they would say, well, I'm working for the ministry, I'm working for the government. I'm like, okay, so you switch gears, all right. And if 3 persons out of that 150 persons remain in the industry, it was a lot. So when I asked, why did you change, you know, most of the answer was, you know, they've gotten very disenchanted with the industry. It's a lot of hard work and small pay, and I'm telling you, hotel work is a lot of hard work, long hours, chunky pay, as we would say, small pay, at least back in my time, right? But we loved our job and we did it with pride. But I just want to come out of just talking about the hotel and restaurant industry, because oftentimes when we talk about customer service, we always tend to group it only with food and beverage and hotel and restaurant and guest house. Customer service expands to almost every sector and industry. So we're talking about government workers, we're talking about people who work in hospitals, we are talking about people who work in stores, we're talking about people who work in the bank. It is a broad spectrum, right? And I often find that, you know, people tend to think that, you know, they are excluded from when it comes to customer service. Even persons who may own their own business and may be operating from home, once you're coming into contact with persons, you are in the service industry. I want to get that clear. You are in the service industry. And through the years, a lot of people just complain a lot. They complain about, you know, the service is so poor, it's really horrible, but nobody is really looking to step up the game. And I say that widely, right? Now, when I say nobody, there may be employers who really giving it their best shot, and you know, they have given up because they've tried and tried. Some employers want the best employees, but they do not want to spend the money to have the best employees. They don't want to train staff. They don't want to hire somebody to train staff. And if they do, they expect that training to last for eternity. Training is an ongoing thing, right? And what I find is that we have a very superficial idea of what customer service is, right? So we all know about smiling, eye contact, body language, grooming, hair grooming, your clothes well groomed. That is the easy part, you know. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. And what I realize as well is that some people think because they're actually good at their jobs, they tend to be very snobby when it comes to customer and dealing with customers, because they're so good in the technical aspect. They don't pay much attention to interacting with people and the service in which they give to others, right? So I'm not here to talk about how to improve customer service by smiling and tone of voice, and because those things, to me, it comes easy. Not for everybody, right? Some people rough around the edges, they can work on it. But I want to also look at customer service is really a psychological thing. What I mean by that, you know, in this pandemic, when people return to work, people's minds are probably coming back a little shattered, right? They've been home for a while, no pay, you know, things are bad. Things were bad before the pandemic, and now people have this added burden of not having money to pay their rent, not having money to buy food, and they're going back out to work with all of that in their head. So I don't want employers to think that it's business as usual. It is not business as usual. You have to really pay attention to your staff to make sure that they are okay mentally, right? Because if you're not in a good space mentally, there is nothing you can say to that person that will help them to give good service. They are going to have that on their minds. And for a very, very long time, we have been told that leave your problems at the doorstep. don't come to work with your problems. And for me personally, I find that to be somewhat impractical. It's very impractical. And while I understand why they would say that, because you're dealing with persons, they don't need to know your problems, but it is really difficult. And I'll give you an example. So after I left the hotel industry, I was a hospitality instructor for a couple of years. So, you know, we would recruit persons between the ages of 17 years to 50 years. See that wide gap, right? And, you know, we would, most of those persons were from the more, what we would say, more depressed areas. All right. And I found myself being a counselor, a teacher, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a mother, a godmother, a father, everything. Because most of those persons who had the desire to be in the service industry were coming with a whole heap of personal problems. I had students that were going through some domestic situations, some serious domestic situations. I had students who were going to work and didn't have anything to eat. I had students who were challenged in terms of literacy. So it was very, very a daunting and a very challenging task for me as an instructor, right? Because, you know, you want to help people, but it was overwhelming. As much as I loved my job, it really was tasking, and it took a lot out of me, because I was never in the business of just going, teaching, instructing, and just leaving people like that. It involved actually getting help for them, getting counselors for them, you know, and it was really, so these are people, right, that going into the customer service industry. And employers are just about, it's business as usual. Come do my work. I don't want to hear anything about your problems, right? Because I pay you. And I want you to do your work to the best of your ability. And then when you leave my job, then you can pick up your problems. Really. And then they wonder why the service is so bad, and they can't get their staff to actually take training properly or to improve on their service. This service discussion, I'll have to do a part 2 on it, because it is really a wide topic, and there is a lot to talk about. And I don't want to be going on, and people, oh, it's too long or whatever, right? But I think that we have a lot of work to do. I can sit here and give pointers about what to say when a customer walks in a store, or for example, there are so many things that we do that is incorrect. For example, you walk into a store, can I help? That's the first thing they approach. Can I help? As opposed to probably saying, hi, how are you today? Are you being helped? Now, sometimes tone of voice plays a major part, because somebody can say, can I help? But their tone of voice, it comes out as helpful, as someone who has, a rough tone. I would say, can I help? Like, it's very dry, there is nothing, there's no smile in the voice or anything like that. But people are just complaining, and they're not doing anything about it. Young people do not care. They don't care. And you know, their attitude is to the pits. It is really bad. It is bad. And for a long time, you know, we had this concept that, you know, I've been hearing it personally. We are oil country, oil and gas. We are not these service people. I actually had people telling me, you know, they think that this service is like if they are slaves and it's beneath them and all sort of nonsense. But let me hear, we have oil and gas running now. How is the country doing now? And I can't even say this poor service thing goes across the Caribbean, because when you go to other Caribbean countries, you see there's a difference in the way service is delivered. I know that I'm just bringing a whole heap of problems, right? And I'm not talking about the solutions, but I have to unearth what the disease is. It's almost like a disease. We are infested everywhere with poor customer service in this country, and I know people are going to get angry at me for saying it, but I am saying it because it is the truth. Every one of us can relate to going somewhere and receiving poor customer service. I have been to a so-called 5-star hotel here, and the service was to the pits. It was horrible. We have to do better than that, you know. Like I said, I just don't want to be talking about the problems and not talking about solutions. So I want to do like a part 2, and we can really get into talking about how we can improve our customer service skills. I think that employers, you all need to recognize that you need your employees. And a lot of times employers, they contribute to the poor service that their staff give because of how they treat their employees. They treat their employees so badly. And the reality is, a lot of persons who are in the service industry don't want to be in that. They're just doing it because they need the money to survive. So it's not in them to be, I'm not a smiley person. I can't stand people. How could you be in the service industry and you don't like people? You know, it's like oxymoron. So what else I wanted to say about this? Now, as I said, I wanted to discuss some varying topics at this downtime. So y'all can leave a comment below and give me suggestions on what you would like me to talk about. But when it comes to this particular topic that I'm talking about right now, I want to leave food for thought, that, you know, there is a cure for improving customer service. There is a cure, all right? But it has gotten so bad that, and the cure is very simple, you know. It is so simple, right? And that is actually caring for persons, caring for people, showing your staff, because once, in most cases, not all, but a very high 90-something%, once you treat your staff really well, they will bend over backwards for you. you are going to get the customer service that you're looking for. But then again, as I said, we have persons, and I don't want people to think that it's only people from depressed areas that don't give good customer service. Please do not think that is what I was trying to say. I was just giving an example when I was in the hospitality industry and where most of my students came from. But we also have persons who doesn't come from that, and they're still horrible, right? And I want to also talk about persons who have their own business, and they think because they have their own business, all right, they may have a spa, or they may have a little store or kiosk or whatever, and they think, okay, I have my own store, and because they know that they're probably good also at what they do, the service it dwindles. They want to talk to you how they want. They would just cancel on you without any proper notification, if they could. And there's a whole barrage of different things that I just feel that we can do so much better. But once again, as I said, employers don't want to spend any money, so they want staff to give this champagne service, but they don't want to spend. Take what I'm telling you. They don't want to spend any money. All right. And or in my time, as I said, it has spiraled. A lot of the good people are no longer in the industry because they felt that they were being used, they were being exploited, and employers had an attitude: if you don't like it, there's the door. And that's what people did. They left. And who left? They migrated, or they started their own business, or they came out of the industry altogether. And so what we have now come in are persons who are not trained, are not willing to take training for whatever reason, right? Whether they feel that they're not being paid enough, whether they feel that their employer treats them unfairly, whether they have personal problems. It could be a whole list of reasons. But we have to do better, guys. We really, really, really have to. And let me tell you this, I am not perfect either. I have fallen short many times during my years as a service personnel. I did slip up. So I'm not perfect, right? But I did try. And I know that my record, as much as I faltered, my record is still great, because my great service outweighed my shortcomings in my service. There are many, I can relate, there are many times you go to work, you don't feel like talking to anybody, you don't feel like interacting with anybody, but you just have to kind of shake yourself up and just move on, try and give that service. And we used to complain back then that, we used to go all out to give good service, and then when we go out, can't get good service, so I mean, I just put in this video. It's very raw. You hear no music, there is no advertisement, there is no code, there is nothing. As I said, with this downtime, I'm really concerned about the numbers, and we're not looking really good right now in terms of our COVID cases, but I just want to say, take heart, and we are going to go back to normal as best as we can. Doors are going to be open again in terms of restaurants and the service industry, let me put it that way, right? Essential persons, doctors, nurses, y'all are in the service industry as well. Yes. Yeah. So It's just really unfortunate that, you know, we are at this level. There's a lot that can be done, but yet it's so simple. So anyway, I would stop here for now, and you know, as I said, I want to do a part 2, and then maybe I could get into the textbook explanation on how to improve customer service. But I just wanted to talk about this because it's something that we have to start working on, or else we are going to be left behind. We're probably behind already, right? But we are going to be left behind to other countries when it comes to service. All right. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like and share, and leave a comment below. I know a lot of you would inbox me and you say, you know, that video is great or whatever, but it really helps my video if you put the comments below the video and not direct message me. All right, but beggars can't be choosers, right? Because I'm begging for subscribers. So at least help me get to 1,000 subscribers at the end of this year. I think it's possible. I'm almost at 600 subscribers, but it's not just about subscribers. That's for another topic, for another day. But you know, it really gonna help my video, and the more subscribers I have, YouTube is gonna push my videos, other people are gonna see it. Please do the thumbs up. All you just have to do is click. It's so easy. Click. That's it, and that's it, you know. So take care, please, please, please. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Don't take anything for granted in terms of your health, in terms of cleanliness, in terms of going somewhere that you think you're not gonna get it. All right. So until then, I'll see you guys. Take care. Bye.